Murder Jones is done. Just took them like 3 years, like, man, that is a long time. I mean, I've been there since the first day. To be exact, I was there before Glitch was a thing, like, I've been here forever. But to stop me from yapping, let's talk about episode 8, the whole series, and the people who I've collabed with. For one last time. It's been a few days since episode 8 released and a few opinions have formed, some of them being very delusional and some stupid. But who cares about the people that are currently molding about the episode? We are here to talk about the episode and why we liked it. Alright, let's talk about the things I really liked, and no, I'm not going to say everything because I have to make a video that isn't 10 years long. Let's go Nightcore. I love Nightcore. Also, a fight scene with Nightcore. Like, oh my god, that's a thing I didn't know I would need in my life, but now I realize, yeah, that makes sense. Why not? This episode looked so good. I know that some people are complaining about it, but they don't matter. Like, oh my god, the attention to detail is insane. Also, the V versus J fight was like amazing. All of the space scenes were amazing, and we literally got Helldiver drones. Like, oh my god, we are diving for democracy here, and it's amazing. I got a few of my old theories confirmed, and I was right about the whole host of the obsolete fabric thing, which is just mind-blowing to me, because I was like, Murder Jones was a great show, and it did a great job. I mean, the first episode released before Meta Runner Season 3, and it got so many people hooked, and man, now we're here, about 3 years later, and I'm here again. This is the second Glitch show I have watched from the beginning to the end, and it's always mind-blowing. My first one was Meta Runner, and I don't regret it. Glitch shows are something special, and that's the reason why we will now rank the episodes. If you don't want to watch that, well, skip to this timestamp. I'm not a monster. Episode 1 is an easy S tier. The first episode did everything it had to and established the important things. Like, that's all you need. And the music was fire. My favorite songs from this episode are Jin Rami, Click, and Uzi Needs a Timeout. Alright, which tier does episode 2 get? Well, yeah, also S tier. The atmosphere in this one is just way too good, and it was the episode that fully hooked me. I mean, episode 1 is good, but I love episode 2, and the music was also very good. My favorites from this episode are Spooky Flashback, Buddies Chilling But Outside, Gimme a Hand, Eldritch JXD, and I don't know how to pronounce this one. Episode 3 is not that good of an episode for me. The prom part just wasn't that interesting to me, and yeah, just kind of didn't work for me. I like the rest of the episode, and it's good, but yeah, it's B tier. Why B tier? Because the music in this one sucked. One of the only good songs in this episode is Knife Dance, and that's just really disappointing because AJ just couldn't cook as hard as he did before, and yeah, you get my point. Yeah, kinda sad. Let's move on to episode 4. Episode 4 is a very good episode, and I have to put this one in S tier. Like, this is how Murder Jones is supposed to be. Good fight, a good mystery, and it sets up things that happen in the next episode. Oh yeah, and the music is fire. Here's the obligatory list of my favorites, those being 98.7 because it sets up the vibe for the whole episode, I'm Confused for just absolutely passing the vibe check, and Silver Uzi for being just so good. AJ absolutely cooked with this one. It's the episode that some people hate, and I have to disappoint those people, because I actually like episode 5. It's not a perfect episode, but it's better than episode 3. Why, you might ask? Well, the music in episode 5 doesn't suck. Apart from that, it's on the same level as 3, but the music is better. Which means that episode 5 gets put in A tier. Don't judge me. Judge AJ for fumbling the bag on episode 3. But I still have to show you my favorites from this episode. So here we go. As soon as I heard GR Energy, I knew that this episode understood the assignment and passed the vibe check. Because this just goes hard. It's the same with The Human Gala, Dark X Wolf 17, Frontal Bucket, You Didn't Have, and Gentle. All of those just work. At this point it should get pretty obvious that I like episodes that have the pilot vibe and good music. Which means that episode 6 is also A tier. Now, you might be asking yourself, why didn't you put this one in S tier? Well, I don't know, didn't feel like it. Alright, here are my favorites from this episode. The Plot 3, I'm still confused. Sentinel Ood, That's a Nice Hallway, Have You Ever Seen a Hallway That Nice? And Nothing Personal Kid. Alright, this one is a bit weird, because it's a good episode, but the thing is that it isn't episode 8 levels of good, which means that episode 7 gets put in A tier. I know that I could have put it in S tier, but it didn't feel right. And now it's time to talk about episode 8. It was amazing, it did everything right, and it kept it a bit silly. Yeah, easy S tier. Alright, here's the old tier list. I hope I don't get cancelled for putting episode 3 in B tier. Oh god, I'm going insane. Anyways, let's talk with Yaxter. Alright Yaxter, first question. Did you like the episode?
Oh yeah, I definitely like the episode. I mean, hell, I even love it. It's my second favorite, and I mean, yeah, I just absolutely loved it.
Well, that's good to hear. Hey, turn the camera around. I'm the boss here. No, turn around now. Okay, thank you. Well, I'm very happy to hear that you actually like this episode, because, you know, the whole discourse about episode le bad, ruined the show, and you know, all the other stuff some people claim this episode did wrong, or yeah. You get it. People aren't happy. Well, not really people. No, it's like only Vanity Mob and that whole crowd who has built their channels on being negative. Like, honestly, why does your review have to be half an hour long if you could have summed your points up in literally 5 minutes? I'm sorry that this is turning into a rant, but I'm sorry. Nobody should have to watch this. I'm sorry. Let's just ask our next question. I want to talk with you, Yaxter, and not about Vanity Mob. Do you feel like you left a mark in the fandom?
I feel like I have, yeah. I've done a ton of collabs, I've worked with a bunch of other creators. Yeah, I definitely left my mark.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely left a mark. First off, like, you're the poll guy. The guy who did polls about everything. Like, how does one come up with so many polls? And some people are such big fans of you that they even watch you before going to sleep. Like, that's awesome. Those guys must be real fans. But now we have to change our topic. And actually, my question is, what would you have changed in the episode? Like, many people would have changed many things. I mean, some people would have even changed the timeline and said, no, this episode didn't come out. But yeah, what would you have changed?
I definitely would have redeemed Jay. I mean, it's a pretty simple change. Just have her, you know, stab Sin in the back and join the good guys. It's not really asking for much.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. But I also see the fault here, because you're trying to redeem the wrong Jay. The Jay most people fell in love with was the Jay from episode 5. Because, you know, that Jay actually cared about people. But the actual Jay we got in the show was the Jay from episode 1, which is an asshole. Like, nobody should have liked that character. And yeah, that's one of the faults of episode 5. It made Jay a character. I don't want to be harsh here, but yeah, that's actually one of the problems I have with episode 5. I think it's a fine enough episode. Not the best one, but also not the worst. Like, it did some things right, and then it did some things wrong and made Jay a character. But it still turned out to be an amazing show. Like, 8 episodes, way too many views, I can't even be asked to count them, and well, we got some cool creators out of the show. Like, I would have never gotten to know people like you, Yak, or Ancom, and yeah, that's where the list ends. It turns out I haven't really made so much content, and yeah. But yeah, now it's time for our next question. Did you like the show?
Abso-frickin-lutely. It was definitely worth the wait, and it is absolutely worth the watch.
That's good to hear, and I think many people will agree with you on that. Like, the show was awesome, and it's gonna be a while until there's something like this show again. Like, it could take ages, but yeah, Murder Jones was great. Like, that's just a fact. But now that it is over, what are you gonna do next? Like, any ideas?
I'm just gonna stick with Glitch and indie animation as a whole, so yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, that is about the thing I would have thought as well. Like, I've been thinking about it, what could Yaxter be doing after Murder Jones, but yeah, that makes sense. Like, you just reviewing more indie animation and glitch shows, yeah, that is perfectly fine. But now, to change our topic, what are your opinions on the other Murder Jones creators?
Generally, everyone's pretty cool. I've had the pleasure of speaking to a ton of them, and, I mean, they're all pretty good people.
You're completely right. Most of them really are just so cool people. I mean, I've also had the pleasure of working with a few of those, but yeah, it's a pretty great community. I mean, some people may be less nice, but we don't talk about those, and yeah, it's still like a good community, and most of the creators are nice. Alright, next question. Will you ever make a Meta Runner video?
Maybe. I've thought about it before, but I don't know if my audience will be that interested, but I mean, it's definitely in the cards.
That's very nice to see. I mean, Meta Runner was the show that got me hooked into Glitch. Like, I would be extremely happy if a video was made, but yeah, it's up to you. But I think your viewers would also maybe like it. Like, it's still a good show. Like, it's the show that got me hooked and that got me to buy Glitch merch, which is not that normal. Like, I have 2 pieces of Glitch merch, both being Meta Runner merch. One being the Thari Victory hoodie, which is comfy AF, and the Meta Runner source comic, which is also a fun collectible. Alright, last question, which is also kind of a callback to the first big Murder Jones video I made here. Is Liam Vickers insane?
Yeah, he is absolutely insane. There's just no other way about it. His entire thing is creating murder waifus, and, well, I mean, he does a pretty good job at that.
Couldn't have said it better, my... Well, let's just not talk about what just happened right now. Here's a fun fact for you. Literally every MD YouTuber is currently trying to rewrite Murder Jones. Yes, even the one that called me a low B, high C tier Murder Jones creator, which is made even more sad by the fact that the only creator below me was Drone Throne. But let's get back to talking about the creator that called me a low B, high C tier creator, who I might just add didn't mention that I already made a video rewriting Murder Jones back in February. I just wanted to say that before I leave this fandom. And you know what? I'm just gonna show you what I'm capable of. So you might be asking yourself, why am I here? Well, that should be obvious. I didn't like that you called me a low B-tier creator. Like, why did you think that it was a good idea to compare me with Drone Throne? Like, man, you dug this grave yourself. And yeah, that's why I'm not really sorry for this. This all happened because you didn't think about how people would feel after being compared to Drone Throne. So yeah, this is your fault, and the realization, well, it will hit you like, well, something. Goodbye, blooper. Now, I could end this video with some smart sounding talk about how the real Murder Jones were the friends we made along the way, but that would be boring. Instead, I'm going to do this and just plug my own project. the downfall of Altcorp. And I'm gonna tell you that you should watch my video about the finals that I made on 5.5 brain cells. Alright, stay crystal clear and have a good day. Goodbye.